All right, cool. Because also one of the things that I'm launching, and I've talked about it for a while, but I'm finally launching it is so we have. Let me tell you a little about me. I'm an old TV guy, and I probably should have stayed in that industry because I just technology makes sense to me. But I got into real estate 25 years ago, buying commercial property in Boston, then doing stuff out here in PA, and wholesale. Didn't even really know what wholesaling was when I started just turning property over for more than I got them. Like this was right after the '08 crash. And now I'm a broker and whatever. I also do a little bit of private lending. I'm also a white label something. He won't use the word broker for it, but anyway, I'm a feeder to like three or four major hedge funds that do DSCR lending, fix and flip lending. So I can, if you bring deals into that, and I'll do 80/20, I'll do 60/40, depending on how much you do of the work. Bottom line is we have basically endless pockets of money we can lend for. We also have zero interest. I call them zero interest credit cards. The company I work with doesn't like me saying that, but whatever. We've got a little, which we also make money off. We got a little bit of money for, a few $100,000 for, and I do have one guy who is like 5 million. He's like, if you find deals, I'm willing to back you on them for earnest and transactional and double close money. So that's another area we can partner on and make money in. I also have a brand called the Wholesale Broker, which I'm launching this year, which is the idea is to be a back office to wholesalers across the country. Whatever you need. You need transactions, you need contracts, whatever you need. And then we have REI Answer Man, which is my education tool, which I'm launching. And this I've had, my education has been going on for years, but I'm really taking it seriously. And Answer Man, the one I'm going out with first is the low cost, few $100s a year, eventually a few $100s a month, but starting off really low, where we do 3 live trainings a week. And there's an online community, yada, yada, yada. And $300, $500 a year means nothing until we get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people.
Right.
Then it's like, oh, well, that's interesting, kind of thing.
Exactly.
And because we're group training everything, we're not individual training. If they want individual training, that's a whole separate conversation. So those are sort of a bunch of my other ways to make money, which is separate from what I just talked to you about, is actually training our team and saying, all right, you help these guys get to the next level. Because that is one thing that I've gone so many years, from 2008 to 2023, I never spent $1 in advertising. Deals just fell to me, especially 2018.
That's funny you say that, because my first 2 deals, I spent $0 on marketing.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Because
I definitely know.
Yeah, because the deals just come sometimes. Now, with every fool and their brother thinking they can do real estate, a little harder than it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, that's kind of the universe of what we've got going on. And within the wholesale broker brand, I guess, my sort of like, my brand name that covers everything is REI homepage, but that's simply a website that links out. I have built, and would love to, get your input on it and whatever, what I eventually want to have be a software as a service. It's the CRM crap, buyers and sellers. It has it's growing to have calculators in it. It has documents in it. It has the financials in it. It has everything in it. And basically, it's kind of sort of how we run our business. And basically, I want to go to a baby wholesaler and say, listen, join Asset Mastermind. You want our documents? Great. We have numbers for documents. You want our software? Great. We have a subscription for that. So there's a lot of different angles that I'm looking at to try to kind of, expand the footprint. And the last thing I'll just bring out there, especially because you're thinking about getting licensed in PA, is in 3 years, I'll still be running the business. This isn't like I'm gone. But in 3 years, I won't physically be in PA anymore. I'll be living on my boat. And so as we build this machine, if this was of interest to you, and you're at 400 a month, it may not be, if we build this machine, I'd be like, all right, you know what? I'll slowly line up to be like, okay, whether as a broker or as a whatever, let's bring you from, glorified team member. You're not starting off regular, but whatever, into saying, hey, do you want to partner on this? Do you want to be actually a piece? Especially on things like the education and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's something I'm excited about.
All right, cool.
See it as a separate opportunity where we could both create win-win scenarios for each other, and just build and scale from there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so basically, and basically, and if you've got tools that work better, if we've got tools that work better, because we'll kind of tweak it out, and I don't mind. I'm a paperwork guy, so like if we start working on something, I'll say, all right, let's discuss now generally what we think the percentages should be. We can change them later, but my thing is, I never want someone to think that I'm taking your stuff and running with it over here, and you don't know what's going on.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm a transparent. Even before I was a licensed broker, I'm a transparency guy. People say that TV guys and live production guys are slime, and yeah, we are. But I don't do anything in business that's in the dark. I don't mind working in the gray area, but I don't want a business professional to think, gee, this guy didn't play straight. Um, so yeah, so where do you think we should start the conversation? I kind of dumped through a lot of stuff there.
So I think it's a lot of stuff that we can make work as well too. Down to like even when you mentioned the transactional coordinator thing, I feel like that's something that could easily be done. As far as the training something I would like passionately do. Um, bringing you guys doing PA from my business to yours. That is another way we can work together.
Yep.
And then also like the referrals and bringing in clients for funding, things like that as well.
All right.
And
Cool.
then
Cool.
also being the license for sure. So there's definitely a lot of areas that we can definitely um, lock in. I just think some structure and some organization will be definitely probably all we're missing.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. And one other thing that I have toyed with building for years, but I've never done, but I think I'm finally going to look into developing is a referral software. And here's what I mean by that. So within the licensed world, and this will be totally automated, and this like I tend to add too many logs to the fire, so I've held back on this one. But um, in the licensed world, you can refer a client to another agent, and typically it's a 25% referral fee back. So if
Mhm.
we catch somebody that wants to work with a licensed agent in a market that we don't service, great. Well, we'll find you that person. That brokerage firm will give us a 25% kickback on whatever that business is. Da da da. So that's a and what I've always wanted to develop is a website for that where agents can register, clients register, and the system says, okay, in this community, here are the 5 agents that
Plug and play. Yep.
whatever. And then also along with it, and this is much more back to your wholesale, background, is I've developed a tool. Again, I haven't launched it yet, but I was writing it over the holiday. That, and this is a big one to get wholesalers to trust. So we're going to need to do podcasters and stuff like that to probably get some credibility going. But I will take my buyers list and put it in the system. And anyone who wants to use those buyers, meaning they don't get the contact on the buyers. I want to be clear. You put a deal in. If one of my buyers chooses the deal, and this is the tricky part, all the communication has to go through our software so that wholesaler never learns who the buyer is. They never get direct. Um, then we'll make some small amount for having put the buyer in, $500,
Mhm.
$100, $200, whatever. The point is, if you've got a deal in a market you haven't worked in before, rather than going, oh, let's go to Facebook and find some buyers, you can go here. Um, and I've seen people, talk about this. I haven't seen it out there. So in the future, that's another thing I want to bring on, probably by the end of this year. I probably won't, but probably by June or so. One of my friends in Philadelphia, and she's actually the broker who I might suggest if you want to do a live, because she does her licensing training courses live on Zoom. She actually built one for the licensed agent world, the licensed agent side. And the reason I'm not using hers, and I told her this, and she's like, well, can you refer people to it? I said, well, what's my vig if I send someone? She's like, nothing. She's like, if they buy my Go High Level package, they become she's like, you get money that. I said, great, but if I send you referrals, why am I not getting something? So that's kind of when I decided, okay, you know what? I've been toying with this. Maybe it's worth developing. And I like to affiliate everything out, like the education. Assuming you weren't even providing education, that's a whole different conversation. The person who refers an education client, I give away a third referral to pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
So if you send me $300 education, you get $100. You send me $1,000 education,
Mhm.
you get $300. So like those referral fees things, I just wanted to mention. I just want to kind of show you, like, we've got a whole directory, and now we just got to sort of say, okay, where's the place to start?
Yeah,
Um,
I'm right with you, man. I'm understanding everything.
all right, cool. Yeah. So basically, um, and now let me back off to the PA training, and I'm going to throw a screen up here, and I'm going to kind of walk you through a couple different. I mean, you can Google these. This is nothing special. Now, Pennsylvania law renews their licenses May 31st. So, and there is a cutoff. I think if you get your license after January, you don't have to May 31st of even numbered years, so 26. So I know when I passed my final stuff back a decade ago, the teacher said to me, he's like, don't pull your license until, and I think he said it was January, but whatever. He's like, it was 2015. He's like, wait till 2016 after this day, so you won't have to renew 4 months later. So you go for your classes now, but let's check on that date before we actually pull your license, just
Okay.
to make sure you don't pull your license in March and have to pay another renewal fee in May. That would just be stupid. So just, with all of this. So the online one that I prefer, and there's a couple good ones. There's Accurate Agent. I'll have to Google that one. But the ceshop.com, this is the number one. When I go for my continuing ed, that's what CE means. I go here. I don't even go to a local guy because it's just easier to push play on the video and walk away and come back and take the stupid test, because continuing ed is a no-brainer. By the way, you've met enough agents by now to know this is not tough. Okay,
Yeah,
this is
absolutely. 100%.
yeah.
100%. It's a walk in
I
the
mean,
park. Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, and basically, this is about the license course is about the law, basically.
Okay.
Um, it's about law and process. You learn the real world from your broker. So once you get licensed, you learn the real world as much as we need it. You learn the real world from me. Now, a couple other things, and I'm investigating the details on this. As of January 1st, NAR made it, Association of Realtors, made it possible for non-members, I don't know if it applies to non-licensees, to get MLS access. So if you were a commercial realtor, but you wanted to look at the MLS, whatever, there's no rule in Pennsylvania. The law says you have to be a licensed agent in order to do Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4 wholesaling. Doesn't say you have to be a realtor. So I'm looking at whether I can continue to bring unlicensed people under my brokerage because I'm an NAR member, or if I have to open a separate brokerage. But the point is, there's no requirement for you to ever get your realtor. So licensing is legal. Realtor is a club. It's a club
Yeah.
that has value. I think it has less and less value every year. But if you want to wholesale in PA, you don't have to be a realtor. You can choose to be. It's great. There's stuff you can do, whatever. But you just have to be licensed, not a realtor. There is no such thing as a licensed realtor. So the other one that people have used, and I'm going to have to Google this one. Aceable Agents. That's what it's called. This is another one that I've heard very good things about, and I actually have. I think they're discount codes on both of them.
Nice.
And then I can also send you Janice's phone number. She's the broker down in PA that does the trainings on Zoom, that does the coursework on Zoom. So if
Nice.
you want an actual live human instead of watching videos, she's the only live human that I know that does it on Zoom. And I think she's like, I think $500 or $600. That's what most of the lives are. And Aceable Agent, okay, two. So less for the ones that are not live videos. And what's CE Shop? And it's funny. Our revenues are almost averaging about the same right now. Although months go up, months go down. But anyway, so let me look at the licensing. Get your license, Pennsylvania. Um, Pricing. I forget what they do for the pricing. They're 40% off. So they're in the same ballpark. Um, Now, I don't know Aceable Aid, and I've never done anything with them. There are other. When I went, so what I do is what I tell people to do is you take your course, you pass whatever the course test is for the transcript. That's not the state test. That's them saying you understand our material enough. Then before you go for the state test, I tell people go to CE Shop and take their test prep, whatever it is, their sample exams.
Mhm.
The living crap out of them until you're at 90s, mid 90s, because then you
Mhm.
know you're getting the 80 on the exam. Um, and how do I put this? And so when that's it. And remember, there's two exams. There's a state and a national. It's kind of like the SATs. If you take it once and you pass the state and you don't pass the national, you go back and you only take the national. You don't have to take the state again.
Mhm.
And it is also something where no one gives a crap. Okay, you have to get an 80 to pass, but no one gives a crap later what you got. No broker is ever going to walk up to you and say, "Did you get an 80 or 100?" No
Yeah.
one cares.
You
Your
have
life,
to pass that.
yeah, it should just be pass fail. Now, I went when I was going for my broker exam. I went to four or five other places like CE Shop for the test prep because I was simply being cheap. I wanted to pay less. Don't bother because I was getting questions about how many oranges, how many parrots. Like, how is this a sample question for real estate? I actually got my money back from two of those companies because I was like, here's a screenshot of the question. How does this apply to real estate? So for the sample tests, personally for me at CE Shop, Aceable might be wonderful too. I don't know.
Okay.
Um, this book, which I was hoping pictures of it would show up. Oh, sorry, it's called different. It's called Real Estate Practice in Pennsylvania. So I don't know why it's not doing there. It goes. My broker teacher who taught both of my courses gave this book out in a class. And by the way, it was the same book both times. He saw me come back the second time for the broker class, and he's like, "Steve, you still have your yellow book, right?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, good." He's like, "It's a couple years out of date, but just don't take that. Don't need another one. It's the same damn book." And my agent Ryan took like literally a Groupon coupon course. Like he went, and I was the idiot that gave him the coupon, like whatever.
Mhm.
And he bombed his first test. Now he didn't do the test prep like I suggested, and so I gave him the yellow book, and I said do the test prep, yada yada, and then he was fine. I don't know that there's a lot in the yellow book, which may not even be yellow anymore, but I don't even know if there's a lot in the yellow book that really you read so much as it becomes a reference document. So this would be something else. If your course doesn't give it, buy it. Because
Yeah.
literally all of the PAR forms are copied in here, the Association of Realtors forms, all of the quotes are right in there. And I'm going to back off by saying a good teacher, but a fun teacher. Like my teacher said to at the beginning of each class, he's like, okay, guys, you have the 14th edition. Chapter 1, 4, 6, 9, and 12 are all you need to learn. The rest of the book is nice to know, but you're not going to need it for the test. So they drive you right down to that. So this or its modern equivalent, this might be outdated, but this book, and the reason it's good, and I don't think it'll scroll in, but there's Goldsmith Esquire. I think it's Bernard Goldsmith. He's the lawyer for the Association of Realtors. I think he's also one of the lawyers for the Pennsylvania State Real Estate Commission. So that's what sets this book apart. So again, stuff when you're looking at your exam, like when you're looking at your courses, that realistically, I don't think I've opened my yellow book probably since my tests, but I still keep it on the shelf. It's still there.
Yeah.
Um, Also, you will have reciprocal states. Um, all right, I feel like a couple of these have fallen off.
Okay.
So reciprocity states. I'm pretty sure Massachusetts is still a reciprocity state, which is why I'm bringing up the topic to you. Because if you get your license and whatever, and then you say, "Hey, I want to start being an agent in Massachusetts, not just in Pennsylvania," you pretty much fill out some paperwork and you're an agent in Massachusetts. You don't take any new tests.
Through what brokerage would that be though?
I'm sorry, what?
How does that work with brokerages? Would it be two different brokerages, or would it be a nationwide brokerage?
No, no, no. You can go with any broker. So, like okay, so a couple things. With the volume you're able to do, you and I could certainly have the conversation of, hey, let's partner on a brokerage. I'll be the broker of record. So that may even be an option because you don't have to be licensed to own a brokerage.
Right.
You have to have a licensed broker of
Broker.
record.
Yeah.
So potentially, you and I could say, hey, you know what? We're going to rent an office. We're going to whatever. Or you could do what my agent Ryan did. He wanted to dip his toe in the water of being a New York agent. And I know. I mean, Ryan's one of my business partners in the wholesale side of things, and so I sorry, just hang on one second. I just want to switch. I just want to message my guy I'm having lunch with today and ask him where. Um, let's see. Um, so he just went to some, I don't know, Exit, EXP, whatever firm he was with or he wanted to be with, and just signed on board with them. Filled out the reciprocal paperwork for New York State, which he still is a licensed agent in New York State. He's probably escrowing his license because Ryan doesn't like realtor work. He just
Yeah.
doesn't. And so he keeps it here with me because we do stuff in PA and you have to be licensed in PA. But New York, he's like, it just isn't worth it. He doesn't find New York a very good market for him in wholesaling anyway. He ends up with really dog deals, frankly. I don't know why. But so basically in Massachusetts, we could do a brokerage firm. I could do one and you could be my agent, or um, you could just go to a brokerage firm and say, listen, I got my Massachusetts license. Let me sign on board with you.
Mm.
That's totally cool too. And
I think it could work because the number of volume that we're doing just on the wholesale side alone. Now, if we're putting properties on this thing, land, commercial buildings, like I think we'd have a decent brokerage. You know what I mean?
I think that's the reason I'm bringing it up to you is to say, hey, listen, this may be something we
Yeah.
team up on.
I got
Now,
20. I got 20+ guys who work with me, like within my business, who would all come with me and get my license as well too. So it could. I know it could work for sure. I just want to be
I'm
able to.
totally down for that. Now, also, I am currently focused on buying self storage and whatever, and also, so I'm a member of two things on the self storage part. Was all of this anything I'm a member of? Okay, anything I'm a member of, I'm stopping because Scott Myers, my self storage mentor, isn't going to want to see you because you're not on his roster. But I'll share
Yeah.
all the stuff with you. I don't care
Right.
about sharing stuff, but I can't be like, hey Scott, I'm bringing this other guy. He
Mhm.
knows me and
Yeah.
Mark as partners, whatever. But like, so Scott Myers is when I joined with him in 2018, he was the 45th largest owner of square footage in the country for self storage. U-Haul was the fifth, so he's not the top of the game, but he's up there. And so we're in his wholesale networking, whatever. We're in his everything. We're in his mastermind. I'm going down to see him in March. whatever. Also, we have a membership with a group called something IQ. I can't think of it. That's like the batch leads or prop stream for self storage. So self storage, we got locks on sources of how to find the facilities. I can show you what communities. I also have a partnership, membership, whatever, with Land OS, which is a um, not just a software for finding deals, but like an entire ecosystem that my friend Eric developed for doing land deals. So, like again,
Yeah.
this is where you're using my tool. Great, we work something out. I mean, you're part of us, so great. As long as you're using my tool, we work something out. Whatever. If you're not doing it fully with us, you say, hey, I want to keep this over here. All right, fine. Figure something out. Whatever. I don't care.
Yep.
Uh, we also have we have land, we have storage, we have another similar smaller utility and mobile home park area stuff. So like there's a lot of things we can bring your team into. You bring you and your team into and say, hey, listen, here's some resources we have. Let's rock it. Also, being a mass hole originally, that's where I'm moving in 3 years. I'm going to have my boat. I haven't figured out where yet. Kind of depends what the rates are in a few years, but pretty much going back east.
Nice.
My
Keep tired is always good.
what?
Keep tired is always good.
Yeah. So
Get it
well,
nice.
I mean, I'm still going to work. My whole thing is in 3 years when my daughter goes to college, I don't want to be tied down here anymore because the marriage
Mhm.
thing isn't really where it should be. And I'm out here because I'm out here not because of my daughter, but because I didn't want to relocate when that happened. So
Right.
like, it's like I don't love this area. I like this area. It's a nice area, and you can live out here real freaking cheap. That's the one biggest move out with Pennsylvania is, you know, the average household income out here in part of Pennsylvania I live in is $55,000. You can live a nice, strong life for 55 grand a year. So
Yeah.
like, and there's stuff to do and whatever. So anyway, and the last kind of monologue thing, and then I'll shut up and we can is that the way Pennsylvania works on becoming a broker is 3 years and a certain number of what they call points. And I'm the specifics I don't remember, but let's say every sale is 5 points, and double side of a sale is 5 points. One side of a sale is 3 points. So lease is 1 point, whatever. You get to I think it's 200 points, and you've had your license for 3 years. You can become a broker, which means
Nice.
you could take over my brokerage firm. You could run your own. Da da da. So as we do these transactions, we want to name you on them because slowly or not slowly, you're ticking away at your points.
Right.
Eventually, you're a broker, whether you use it or not. You have the option of taking another set of courses, which will teach you the exact same crap. I was shocked how little of a difference there was. There were additional courses. The salesman course was 75 hours. The broker course was 300. The basic 75 hour of the broker course was the same. The other courses were how to run a firm, how to do this, how to do that. So whatever. But anyway, so that's kind of on the where we started conversation. We're ready to start deals right now. We can start running your deals, in Pennsylvania, Ohio, wherever you want to fold us in. Pennsylvania definitely, but wherever else you want to fold us in, we can. And because we're licensed, any market you're working in where you need a licensee, work me into those deals. I'll contact a local broker and come up with something broker to broker. I can call up any agent I want and be like, hey,
Mhm.
we're doing an off market in your area. We need a state licensed broker, and here's what we're willing to offer for it. They can deal with me. They can't deal with an unlicensed. They can deal with me or you once you become licensed with our firm. They can't deal with you outside of a license. I can't pay, although I do, but I can't pay an unlicensed person for licensed transactions. I do, don't worry, I do. But the point is,
I know you have to say it. I know we get creative sometimes. It's all good. I got you.
all right. So basically,
Mhm.
that's kind of that's this part of it, and then I think the next part of it is probably the education stuff. And probably right alongside of it, right along the same time. Hey, listen, let's talk about you joining my education REI homepage. and also let's talk about how we would figure you in for doing some training with our guys and the team we build. 'Cause our goal is to add by July. I want to add another 10. We have about 5 guys who are kind of all beginners, and I want to add another 10 to 15 real firepower salespeople within Pennsylvania,
Cool. Yeah.
and kind of getting the deals going. And I also want to, and this is where I think you and I could also do well with, is I want to reach out to other out of area wholesale companies and be like, hey, it's great to do it in Pennsylvania as a gray area, but let's do it the right way. So anyway, so that's kind of the end of my monologue. What thoughts? Any questions? Any ideas? What do you got?
I like it, man. I'm ready to get going.
All right, cool. All right,
I think it's a value add for the both of us, and we can make some money, extra money for the both of us. You know what I mean?
exactly. All right, cool. So basically, so now on the sort of tomorrow side, so here's my schedule, and if it works, great. If not, I just figured I'm in Springfield anyway, so I think you're somewhere near that, right?
Yeah, I'm in Springfield.
Okay. So tonight we leave here about, I don't know, 5 or so. So we get in, I don't know, probably 7 or 8. I forget how long Springfield is. It's been so long. But and we're staying, I think it's the residence in Springfield or ish. And then we're staying there tonight and tomorrow night. And if it's possible for us to meet for coffee or something in the morning, or just to see each other in person, like this isn't.
Yeah, let's do it. All for it. Let's do it. I'm excited.
All right, cool. Yeah, so
I'll show you some deals I got out here. Bring my computer, show you some CRM stuff, and just put everything in a better perspective for you, so how we can go into this year. You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's. Go ahead. Sorry.
That'll be good.
All right, cool. Yeah. All right, so let's do that. Let me just find out. My guy just texted me. Hang on, let me see what he's thinking. All right, cool. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. So basically, what I'll do tonight is let's both put some thoughts to sort of. Okay. So we know what we're doing in the transaction in Pennsylvania. Have you got any deals open right now that you want to jump us into in Pennsylvania or any of the surrounding states or anything?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
I've been waiting to send you what I got at PA.
All right. Okay. All right. Cool.
What we were doing first, but yeah, let's do it.
All right. So now, are you already running off the CRM, or what are you? How are you?
Yeah, so my business is pretty unique. So I use Asana as my main CRM for everything, like my overhead with my VAs, and then all my guys on my team, my cold callers, my field agents, follow-up division, they're all in Discord. So I use Discord as my hub, and then everything.
Good, okay, I like Discord. Yeah.
Into Asana.
All right, cool. Yeah. So basically, I figure whatever's easier for you, probably for you to link me into your software. I'll show you mine. I'm on GHL.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah, let's do that on Sunday. We can sit down and show each other our CRMs and figure out what's easiest. And if we have to set up a separate one, then it's fine,
Yeah, so I'm thinking tomorrow morning or Sunday morning, whichever is better for you. Maybe something toward the earlier end of either one, because we have to be in Hampton Beach tomorrow by like lunchtime.
Okay.
Hampton Beach, New Hampshire. So we got like another 2 hours, I think, on that.
Yeah.
And then Sunday we're turning and burning home, so we have a little bit of flexibility, but same thing. We're probably leaving by noon, something like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm thinking like 8:30, 9, something like that. We meet for a half hour, 45 minutes, or like that. All right. All right. So what I'll do is I just want to check with my wife and find out if she has a preference either way, whether we meet Sunday or Saturday. She's not involved, but more a matter of her getting pissed if we're not on the road to Hampton or that end of it. So I will check with her and I'll circle back with you tonight, and we'll go from there. And then tomorrow we can put some wheels on it.
Sounds good, Steve. Good talking to you, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks. Have a good one. Glad to meet you.